This is the instructional video to show you how to lift your prints using powder, fingerprint powder. This is also called dusting. This is a great technique for surfaces, a lot of different kinds of surfaces, but especially non-porous surfaces. So like this glass microscope slide is the surface that we're going to use. There should be some Kim wipes available. These are actually used to clean off microscope slides. So you just want to grab a wipe and kind of wipe the slide down so that it doesn't have anybody else's prints on it. It does help if you handle the slide by the edge. And then to get a really good fingerprint, it might help to use this ridge builder. This is actually kind of like a lotion. You just put a tiny little bit in your hand. You don't need a lot. And then you're going to rub it on your fingerprints, your fingertips. And then, believe it or not, after you have gotten a lot of it on your fingerprints, you're actually going to wipe it off. Basically, the idea is that we want to get a nice, greasy fingerprint because that's really what this dust is going to adhere to. Another technique you could use is you could wipe your finger on your nose, on kind of that T area on your forehead, where unfortunately we do produce a lot of grease. Alright, so all I'm going to do is place my fingerprint on the glass slide, and probably not on the video, you can't see it very well. Oh, maybe you can a little bit, but you can see there is a nice greasy fingerprint there. So we're going to be using this orange fingerprint powder. It does make a little bit of a mess, so I do ask that you have a paper towel down, and we're going to use this fiberglass brush. So you're going to open the end of the container where the handle is on the brush, maybe, so we can slide it out. And when you slide it out, it might help to roll it between your hands a little bit just to kind of fluff it. Now, this is a technique that does require a decent amount of practice in my opinion, but all you're going to do is very, very moderately dip it in the powder, kind of tap it off a little bit, and then there's a couple techniques. You can swirl the brush over top of the fingerprint, you can kind of paint it back and forth, whatever you would like to do, but you can see already what I have done is I have basically had that powder adhere to my fingerprint. It's a little on the messy side, so I'm just going to swirl it a little bit more to try to clean that up. I don't really want to touch the brush a lot to the fingerprint for fear of smudging it. So now that I have that powder on the brush, or I'm sorry, on the fingerprint, I'm going to get a piece of tape and very, very carefully place the tape on that fingerprint on the slide. Try to get all the air bubbles out, and then I'm going to gently pull that piece of tape up. And now I have a fingerprint, and you can tape that right in your worksheet.